Hello! We have two stories today of entitled parents who just want, need what you have, and can't take no for an answer. Our first story has a hero that could charm the socks off a dachshund, is visibly disabled, walking stick in hand, and a snazzy sunflower lanyard around their neck. Yet none of this could dissuade one father from making a scene over a window seat that put the hero on a roller coaster ride of stomach twists and turns while struggling with pain and nausea. All aboard the bus for story 1. M is me, BD is bus driver, ED is entitled dad, KL is kind lady. So a little bit of background on me. I have a bunch of health issues, and that means I have a lot of medications. The important one here is my anti-sickness meds, ondansetron, commonly known as Zofran. Now, due to issues here in the UK, getting hold of some of my medications has been a nightmare. My anti-sickness has been the hardest to get, so what little I do have, I am heavily rationing until I can finally get it again. The other important thing to note is that for a while now, it has been coming in a pill bottle and not a blister. Here in the UK, that's very unusual. Another thing that's important to mention is that it's pretty clear I'm disabled. I have a walking stick and I wear a sunflower lanyard. Also, my face is dropped on the left due to a stroke I had. Basically, if you look at me, you know full well I'm disabled. The last thing is, 3rd of June is my birthday. To be honest, the day kinda sucked, and birthdays are fairly important in my family, especially mine, as I spent so many in hospital. So, I was on the bus today, and I'm already in a pretty foul mood. I had gone to the pharmacy in hopes of getting my meds. No luck. I'm feeling very sick. I'm in a lot of pain, I'm tired, and to top it all off, it's my birthday and I can't eat my birthday cake without feeling even worse. So needless to say, I was close to tears. I sat on the bus in the disabled seats, head against the window, music in my ears, trying not to cry. One of my earphones ran out of charge, so I went into my bag to grab the case and switch to wired earphones. Just as I was doing this dad got on the bus with a small child. I paid them no mind as I dug through my bag until I heard him clear his throat. "My child needs to sit here," he said, looking at me. Now, the bus was not busy at this point, and the seat next to me, as well as the other disabled seats, were free. I looked at him in confusion and I said, "I'm sorry, but as you can see, I'm already sat here and it's very clear I need them. He's welcome to sit next to me, or you can pick any of the other seats." Now, I could have absolutely been nicer about it, but as I said, I was in no mood. He just huffed at me and sat on the other seats. All seemed well until the child started complaining he wanted to sit on the left side where I was. The dad ignored the kid whilst the kid kept moaning. Now at this point, my sickness had gotten a lot worse. So I reluctantly grabbed my anti-sickness meds from my bag to take one. It has one of those child safety caps on the ones where you push down and turn at the same time. I really don't like these caps, but whatever, get on with it. I was struggling to get it pushed down, but before I could complete this, my meds were grabbed out of my hand. The man went marching to the driver. He started shouting I was taking drugs on the bus and I should be arrested. The driver pulled over and got out his cab. At this point, everything got far too much and I burst into tears. The driver, an older man who knows me, said, "They're not taking drugs, they are taking their medications." Then this lady had sat down next to me and wrapped her arm around me. I was just crying and crying and crying. Everything had gotten too much. Friends didn't wish me a happy birthday. I wasn't feeling well, I just wanted my sickness meds. Also, a day where I'm not unwell, let alone on my birthday. As if to pile on top of it, the kind lady who was hugging me smelled of the soap my grandma used, so on top of it, I started missing her and wishing it was her hugging me on my birthday. The entitled dad realized how wrong he was and how much he messed up, but still tried to worm his way out. I don't really know what he said, I just know that he was trying to make excuses. The driver grabbed my meds off him, told him to get off, and grabbed my water out my bag and helped me get the cap off, and I took my meds. But was still very upset, as you can imagine. Fortunately, I know the driver and he knows my aunt, so he called her and got her to come and pick me up to take me home. Update. So I managed to get about half my due meds, so it means I've been able to enjoy some of my birthday cake. It's a lovely plain sponge with fresh cream and royal icing. It's lovely. Nothing fancy, but my mom made it, so it's incredibly special. Complaints have been put through about the entitled dad. This includes CCTV of him grabbing my meds. As I am classed as a vulnerable adult, it's now a police matter. Not really what I wanted, as I feel it is a bit harsh, but I'll wait and see the outcome. I was at work yesterday, and the kind lady who comforted me on the bus came to the bookshop where I work. It turns out I actually know her from the hospital. We've been on the same ward a few times. She also knows my mom, which is really nice. I was only working a half day, so we went for lunch together. We had a really lovely time, and I'm going to stay in contact with her. She's taken to calling me Bluey because I love the show and my hair is blue. It's really lovely. I've missed my grandmother so much. While she will never replace my grandmother, I feel like I've gained a bit of her back. My parents are away right now, and she brought me around shepherd's pie for dinner. In the comments, Winter Lily said, "Disgusting behavior and blatant ignorance on his part. You have my sympathy. That man ought to be banned from the company's buses. They'd usually do that for similar behavior in younger people. Did they do that here? I hope so." OP replied, "I haven't given it much thought. I'm assuming the bus driver who knows me will say something. My aunt is absolutely raging about this, so she will put in a complaint and I will too. Hopefully that will be enough. Especially as public transport is my only way to get around, unless someone gives me a lift. I hate how it's so common to face this." You know this entitled dad was just waiting on any opportunity to get one up on OP. He was sitting there lurking in the shadows of the seats he didn't want, waiting to pounce. And knee-jerk response to OP struggling with his bottle of medication, he strikes. Aha! Gotcha! Poor OP having to deal with these crazies on the bus. Our second story takes to the field with one family who knows how to plan for the jalapeno fever dream that is a summer day in Arizona. However, it all goes wrong when a group of sweaty intruders decide to snub their preparation with all the grace of a blowing tumbleweed right through their camp. Well, you know what they say. If you want peace, you must prepare for war, and our heroes decide to fight fire with fire. Sun's out, fun's out. In story 2. I live in the blistering heat of Arizona. I drive my son and wife to my son's 7-on-7 football practice. This isn't our first rodeo with outdoor events. And when we read on the website that Field 4 was on a softball field, we knew that we were in for an unmercifully hot day. We decided we would bring our expandable tent to set up for the games. It's a bit of a hassle to carry, but once it's set up, we're good. We got to the field early enough to have about 60 linear feet of open sideline on either side of the makeshift field. We set up following the rules for tent seating, close to but not closer than 10 feet from the sideline. Okay, cool. We set up, made sure we weren't obscuring anybody else's view, etc. Okay. So we sit there and talk while my son goes through pre-game when all of a sudden we hear a few people sweatily bumbling through our tent. Then they realize, say, WTF, and set up camp directly in front of us anyway. Like, very close to us. I'm 6'2", and I can't see past about 90% of the field, like close. Before I let them get too comfortable, I let them know that we are already set up here. The man turns around and says, "Hey, you can sit wherever the frack you want. This is general admission, right? So sit wherever you want." My wife and I look at each other, and most assuredly have the same thought. Time for some malicious compliance. You see, rules may say that tented individuals must be 10 feet off the sideline, but people in chairs? No limit mentioned, just not on or touching the sideline. So we take our chairs, get up, and start to pack up some of our stuff. This part's great for us because we see the people staring at us and smiling like they won the day. We just take our chairs and plop them directly in front of them, leapfrogging them. During the process, we told our other neighbors they could have our seats for shade if they want. They kind of had a feeling we were up to something and happily obliged. As we enjoyed our ringside seats, we felt the glares and realized one of the guys got up to complain to the ref. Because that's totally the ref's job. The ref walked back with him and he pointed at me like a complaining 3-year-old and said, "They came in and sat in front of us. Look how close they are. Look." The ref turned to my wife and asked, Which one of y'all got here first? She smiled, saying, We did. They just plopped down in front of us when we were just trying to give you enough space to do your job. God, I love my wife. Ref goes, Well, it's the end zone, so plop at your own risk. But you gotta know, it's first come, first serve. These clampettes stomped right through our tent again, this time almost getting in a fight with my friend. As they whimpered, clanged, and twanged their country selves back to whatever land of odd they came from. For that one moment, it was so quiet you could hear a fancily packaged collectible spoon drop. In the comments, River Run's Blue Hydra said, As an Arizona resident, I'll say this was a very Arizona thing to happen. Them, You can't tell me what to do. You, Okay, I'll do the same back to you. Them, goes crying to an authority figure. Why Dad said, I have to take exception here. The Clampetts were a perfectly lovely and considerate family. I don't agree with Granny's politics, but they knew how to get along with their neighbors. The people you met were complete trash. OP replied, My bad. Should have used bumpkins. I've not been to many youth American football games, but I have been to many European football matches, having played soccer in my more formative years. And I will say, this is so nutty to me. I can't imagine anyone sitting in front of someone else or standing in front of them, blocking their view and then saying, It's general admission, we sit where we want. That's just not valid. It's such a slap in the face. Also, these are kids' sports. Everyone is there to support their kids and wants to see the game. It kind of reminds me of when I was a kid and the tallest person would always, without fail, sit right in front of me at the cinema. Now, let's be honest, he was probably just an adult of average height, but he just had to sit in the middle seat directly in front of me. It never occurred to the family I was attending with to go sit in front of those people. As polite Canadians, we just moved to left or right of center. I think OP's tactics are way better. And that's it for today. Until next time, shine bright, Starlight. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.